Good evening, brothers and sisters. Tonight, I'm going to share to you about God's perspective in giving is excellent. Actually, that is the title of my exhortation tonight. And as I begin, God is always concerned about our ways of living and attitude because He wants to bless us. When God gives, it is always good, perfect, beautiful, and it added no sorrows to us. His giving is always excellence or excellent. Our text tonight is in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1 to 7. And let's read it. And now, brothers, we want you to know about the grace that God has given the Macedonian churches. Out of the most severe trial, their overflowing joy and their extreme poverty welled up in rich generosity. For I testify that they gave as much as they were able, and even beyond their ability. Entirely on their own, they urgently pleaded with us for the privilege of sharing in this service to the saints. And they did not do as we expected, but they gave themselves first to the Lord and then to us in keeping with God's will. So we urge Titus, since he had earlier made a beginning, to bring also to completion this act of grace on your part, but just as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in complete earnestness, and in your love for us, see that you also excel in this grace of giving. Tonight, as I'm going to share this, as I said, the main idea is we give as a natural response of love to our God. And God give us so we can give even to the midst, even in the midst of hardship and even problems. In the passage that we read, Paul saw and observed the Macedonian attitude of giving. There are 5 comments Paul were able to see. Number 1 is, Paul esteemed or highly admired how the Macedonian give. That is in verse 1. In spite of great trials and afflictions and severe poverty, the Macedonian gave. Their giving was excellent. Paul further testified the Macedonian attitude of giving. That is the second comment that Paul has given as seen. They have suffered a great deal, but their joy is overflowing as they give. It should be the attitude of every child of God, that just like as the Macedonian. And because of this, Paul further testified that they give as much as they could. They gave even more they could and expected. But first of all, they also gave themselves to the Lord. Because they know, the Macedonian knows, that they cannot give without first giving themselves to God. And another comment of Paul is, number 3 comment is, Paul exemplified or gave an emphasis to the Macedonians' way of giving. They give in rich generosity, and it is beyond their ability, completely on their own. It means to say that it is on their own heart that they give. nothing can stop them from giving to God, even in their poverty, and also in sharing, in serving God's people. They want to share their possession or whatever, their love to God's people. And another comment, which is the number 4 comment of Paul, is Paul recognizes and encourages the Corinthians. Paul said, "You do well in faith, in speech, in knowledge, and in complete commitment." But his encouragement is that to the Corinthians, he said that they should make sure that they do well in their giving to others. It means to say that everything that they have done, knowledge, their faith, they're all good, beautiful, and it's all good in the sight of God. But one thing, they have also to excel in their giving to others. Application. Now, do you plan to give? Whatever kind of giving we are planning, be it financial, time, ourselves, or possession, let us be like the Macedonian. Give with overflowing joy. Our giving to the Lord will never be in vain because we cannot outgive God. Our God is an excellent giver. The words of God clearly tells us and encourages us to give. Because giving, the Lord telling us, is the greatest thing He ever gave us, which is our Lord Jesus Christ. And that is in John 3:16. Though sometimes we experience hardship, trials, and problems, but if we think what God can do, we can surely obey Him. God's perspective in our giving is excellent in all areas of our life and whatever situation we are in.